So, good morning once again, and we come to a very, very important session, which is a panel discussion, Engineering Our Way in Future. Why this subject was chosen? Because Vapi is a hub for paper machinery. It is Ali Bhai who started manufacturing the paper machine here way back in 78, and he developed each small unit into an important and rubbery unit. And today, together or independently, they can deliver you a complete machine. So here is the generation next, which will talk to you how they have traveled the journey so far in last maybe 44 years in Vapi. And just to tell you in advance, once this session is over, please stay back. We will break for the lunch 30 minutes after down the line. 1.5 hours is the session. We'll break for lunch at 1:30 and then disperse, because that 30 minutes would be a business session where we want to have your feedback. There would be award for the best paper award, and there would be many interesting thing. You all need to really support the authors who have come from long distance. So let's start the way, and I'd like to invite Ashraf Bhai, who is a moderator. Ashraf Bhai belongs to a family of paper making. Those who are from Gujarat, they know the history, but those who are from outside, his family started the paper machinery manufacturing, as I said, Ali Bhai, his father, and thereafter they diverted into craft manufacturing. Later they sold out that plant, and today they own Mehali Paper Mill, which is the largest paper mill. So that's what Rubimacon, which manufactured the machinery for entire paper mill and conveyor to winder. They have supplied 99 complete machines in the industry. I wish, Ashraf Bhai, you take a break and make it 100. And currently he is the managing director of Mehali Paper. Let me give you a little personal point. This session is a brainchild of Ashraf Bhai. When I met him some 3 months back, he is the one who suggested that we should have, and I am thankful to have, Ashraf Bhai agreed to moderate this session, because all the panelists who are here, it's almost like a father and a son relationship. So Ashraf Bhai, please come over for a while, because he has decided not to take a chair and be here only. Now you can see Amit, please come. Amit Mistry. Amit is an Indian industrialist, businessman, engineer and managing director of CAD Paper Machine Private Limited, Standard Engineering and Amit Machine Tools. He is the third generation in business for last 15 years. I will request you, all the young guys who it should be like, climbing the ramp. That should be the applause I will give. And they manufacture complete paper machine from refining to reel. Now I'm sure many of us, we do not know that CAD machine has done 120 paper machines in the country. It's something a big compliment. And company focuses ideal partnership with customer. Now you read the word carefully. Quality product, innovative product and ethical ground. These three very, very important things. I will supply you quality, I will remain on ethical ground, and I will innovate the product. So, well done said Amit about you, and please take your seat. We have Ashish Chokhawala. Ashish is a BE from Regional Engineering College, Kashmir. Good. Kashmir is here. We are very happy, Ashish. His company CN Automation provides automation solution to pulp and paper plastic industry. The company was started in 87. As I said, there were many companies who were OEM to Ashraf Bhai's parent company, Rubimacon. And in 2014, business of Kinetic Energy was merged with CN Automation. Company walks tall on the role of reliability Again, you will find each machinery manufacturer here claims of productivity, ethicalness, reliability, quality and innovation, and CN Automation is one who says, I will walk on the road of reliability. We have Deepak Bhai. Deepak Bhai, please come over. After completion of his study, joined business for 5 years. I'll run through fast. He was responsible for family-owned business of paper industry. So he worked, his family had 8 years of paper industry. Then he honest iron and engineering works for last 19 years, CEO, and honest machinery derives pride for quality workmanship. Again, quality is a hallmark. Kunal Bhai, please come over. Kunal Bhai is a young graduate mechanical engineer from Pune. Give him he was very nervous this morning. I would like you to have a round of applause. Please, very, very normal. They are all your family members, so nothing to feel quite, I'm impressed with the presence of audience. And he joined the family business Microfab Industries as a director technical. He's a graduate from mechanical engineering, we said it. And now imagine, he is working on import substitution. And so far he has made several head boxes of word quality, and which are very, very, am I right? Head boxes you told me? Yeah. And these are the head boxes which have been imported by the small and medium. And I'm sure Kunal will talk when he talks that when is he going to give a head box for a large paper mill. That's the expectation, Kunal, from you. And he believes that India offers good potential from machinery point of view in coming years. Great. So Saloni, please come. Saloni is a Bachelor degree 2019 and worked for ABP, entered the paper industry and joined the family business Saloni Paper Machinery, and Jaikishan ji people know. Now I want to just share with you, when I went to the workshop, I have been meeting Saloni outside on a Paperex and other ground, and I thought being the girl, I mean she might be going and looking after the accounts or some bill signing. But when I went to the plant, she took me to the plant and she knew all the equipments which are being fabricated, who is the owner, for whom, what is the progress, how much has gone through. So I told Jaikishan, boss, ये मेरे को तो तुम्हारे सलोनी machine की रानी झांसी दिखती है. So I call her since then. She is a Rani Jhansi to me for Saloni paper machine. Welcome you, Saloni, to this and look forward to you. And she feels that she would provide solution like her father to the industry. Then Yesha is there. Yesha is the daughter of JMC chairman and managing director, our Rajni Bhai. Rajni Bhai is a like father, like daughter. And she has done in doctor in pharmacy. She grew up in Texas. Yesha has traveled all the way from Texas just a week back to be a part of this panelist. So I request you all, these two young girls have taken a bold step to come and share the dais. And as a part of her role, she involved with the strategy, development and building brand awareness and partnership. And her role includes increasing JMC reach in North and South America, mind it. And she is overseeing a construction of a plant in Mexico, which is 150 tons, you said, right? Very good, Yesha. And she has been, of course, since she has come in paper business, she is attending TAPI conferences and other conferences to update herself. So, Kayur Bhai, where are you? Please come over. He is the owner of Sanjay Steel Fabrications. Well, very young. You can see he has been for 5 years selling the product, then become the director of the company. Bachelor of Business Studies, University of Bedford. I mentioned one thing yesterday. Generation next of WAPI is full with qualification, degrees and abroad. And that's where the future of WAPI lies. So that's very, very important. And His company was established 43 years back by a group of qualified engineers, and they enjoy their role in paper industry because of quality and trust. Mind it, quality and trust. That's what this Sanjay Steel offers. And another panelist is Mayor Bhai. Please come, another young gentleman, Mayor Bhai, being mechanical from KG Somaiya, Bombay, chartered certified engineer from Calcutta, director in engineering and exclusive hands-on experience in field of designing and manufacturing equipment. That's very important. Director is Scanflow Valves, deals in manufacturing knife gate valves. Upgraded the valve manufacturing process and getting international quality certification. His love is to develop valves which are of international quality. And one of few companies in India to provide end-to-tail feeding solution. So this is a good claim, and they have developed a wire cleaning system which saves 85% of water being used. So thank you very much. With this introduction, over to you, Ashraf Bhai, for the session.
Thank you, Gulzar. Start with a punchline, at the end of a negotiation. 15 रुपए किलो माइल स्टील एंड 60 रुपए किलो स्टेनलेस स्टील.
Ashraf Bhai, आप सामने आ जाओ.
सामने आ जाओ.
आप cordless पे हो.
Yeah, thank you. So I can move around. Thank you for the freedom. Yeah. So I think I'm not announcing a comeback in the machinery business, but this is the typical negotiation, and I feel that most of us are guilty on many occasions. We ridicule the value of technology. We need to encourage all of our suppliers. Specifically, we have a very young lot here. If we look at the past that WAPI has given, we have participated very strongly in the complete growth story of the Indian paper industry. I remember the initial paper machines where we had just maybe a wire, a press, and then a small Yankee. We didn't even have a reel. I think way back in the 70s, we used to just reel on the Yankee itself. There was just this shaft which people used to pull up. We added better head boxes, bigger presses, and then came the challenge for the drying cylinders. So I remember way back, I think in the 80s, we had these fabricated cylinders. And a lot of people from the large companies, not to demean them, but there was this general perception, ye nahi chalega. This is not how it happens, it has to be cast iron. But it was very efficient. We didn't have much data, so it was difficult to quantify. And over the years, as the machine started getting bigger and faster, the manufacturing practices at the workshop probably did not cope up with the needs of the paper machine. Today, I can happily see that the Voith and Metsos, they are going back to the fabricated cylinders. So, I mean, it's a pride for WAPI that we were right way back in 1980 that the fabricated cylinders is the right thing to do. I think KU's family has been making a lot of cylinders, and of course Yesha has a very large volume of contribution from her family. Times have changed. I remember when we did our paper machine 2, it came from Switzerland, was a second-hand machine. We just unloaded it from the container and jahan pe tha waise laga diya and paper reel kar diya. So the word engineering is something which was like nothing in the mill. It was just off the mill and maybe at the workshops. There was no P&ID. Line sizes were decided ad hoc. Somebody would say 4 inch ka dal do, koi bolega chota padega 6 inch ka dal do, and these were ad hoc decisions. Times have completely changed. That machine, I remember, it came from the port on 26th of February into our mill, and we could re-erect and take commercial production on 28th of March. There was nothing to be done, it just restarted. One pulper, a turbo separator, and a thickener, and a refiner. And the machine was also pretty simple, hardly anything in the steam and condensate. Times have completely changed. We, all of us as mill owners, have to adjust to the new reality. Nowadays, there is a lot of time needed for automation. You need to give them, the IO testing, the DCS. It needs its own time. And unfortunately, the medium-scale mills are learning it the hard way. I'm hearing of a lot of startups nowadays which are going haywire. I think Ashish has a lot of recent experience where the target dates have offshot by almost 1 month, 1.5 months. Startups have not been smooth because we didn't allow time. We didn't spend enough time on the drawing board and we just rushed through the automation. The level transmitters are not calibrated, tanks are overflowing, flow meter ulta hai, all these kinds of problems. And I think we need to now uh, get ready for this new generation where everything will be automated. So while we have a lot to celebrate, and Vapi's always stood up to all the challenges. We made drying cylinders, and I think Mihir's dad came handy when we were looking for showers and guides and a lot of the jewelry of the paper machine, which was difficult to make in the mainstream workshops of the country. We are still dependent a lot on China for the mass of steel components. I hope we can indigenize this going forward. I would love to see that most of those things being made in India and exported outside. We do have the potential and maybe the infrastructure as well. So with that initial note, I think I will allow about, let's say, 5 minutes to each one of you to give a perception of your company, your family into this business, the journey, how it has been so far. And any experiences in the form of a story will of course be very, very interesting. So I think, Amit, can you take the lead now?
Good morning. Thank you, Ashwin Bhai. It's a beautiful audience here. I'm very grateful to IPTA for giving us this opportunity here. So let's start with this a little story. Like every business has, it's a journey. So they have their the startups, the transition phase. There is always ups and downs. They have a lot of aspirations are there. I'm very thankful and very grateful to the Alibhai Natharian family because today they are the ones who have paved us the path into the paper industry. So I would like to say that he is not only the father of the paper industry, but also the father of the paper machine manufacturing because along with him, he has not only developed a lot of industries in Vapi and around Vapi, but also given opportunities to a lot of people to come with innovative solutions. I'm very honorable to be sitting here with all the elite and the leaders and the innovators of the paper industry, and we are there to be there to support you and always try something new, which we can always give back to the industry. What we have taken, what my earlier generations have taken, I would like to give it back. So it all begins with the slides like in 1969, my grandfather, we are third generation in business. It starts with, we were doing some work for the defense industry for Masgao Dock in the early 60s, and my grandfather and father, they had developed some equipments for the Indian defense, and which they had been awarded the Tamrapatra in 1980 by the Vice President of India. We came back in 70 in Vapi when the industries started developing, and that was the time when the inception of the idea came up. The pictures is Alibhai and my grandfather. That was the first Yankee machine which was 2 tons a day, way back in 1972, and today we are talking about multiple digits in the tonnage capacities. So we are talking about not only 100, 150 tons, but we are talking about 500 tons, 600 tons, 700 tons machines, and that's what we are doing. And the developments are still going on, how we can still take it up. All of this surrounds with a continuous development. So we have always been trying to cope up with the pace of the industry, trying to take it forward, trying to be innovative, trying to try and understand. We have always been customer-centric. A lot of these developments which is there back behind the legacy which is there is all thanks to all the paper mill owners here who have always pushed us to the end and to the limits. we need to do this, we need to do that. Ashraf Bhai, he's a moderator today, but he's always been a mentor. Always, behind our back and to keep changes and to make things. So, of course, I'm third generation in the business now, and a lot more to do. Our focus today is, the topic today was engineering our way to in future, and what we see here is a lot of things. Our focus has to be on the energy, focus has to be on the how we can save the power, how we can save on how much more we can recycle, how much more we can reuse, how much more we can make the machines more efficient, emphasize on that part, reduce the wastages, and this continuous developments is going to be there, and we see a lot of opportunity, and coming times are going to be just a lot of challenging ones, but at the same time we see there's a lot of potential in this, and I see this journey since the last 50 years it's always been very memorable, a lot of learning in this, and the coming 50 years which I see is going to be just as beautiful and as wonderful as like what the past has been. So we see that the industry can
Yes, good.
So I would like to also add on to this part is that it's not only the past and the present scenario which we are looking at is, but we should also emphasize and focus on the coming future. And the coming future times is going to be a lot of data, a lot of engineering, a lot of study. Every mill is different, every idea is different. So yeah, we're just looking ahead and we're seeing that what best opportunities will come to us, and we can give it back.
Thank you. A few words on what has been your experience.
Press up, not way.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Ashraf bhai. And as everybody knows, we are into this industry since last 4 decades, and have gone through many different ups and downs, different phases of paper industry, paper mill, manufacturing, and different scenario what has happened since last all these years. But what I see, we have to focus on specialization on the making of certain machineries. We can't do all the supplies, like what I see personally, what we are going through last few years. If we go on making all the things together, it is not going to be the solution. So we have to follow certain or model, like what other countries or other people they are doing. At least we can follow that, and I think that should be the solution in paper industry at least, because the competition what we are facing now, like we want to deliver good reliable machines, but we need certain cost. So what I see, every manufacturer should focus on their expertise, what they can make. If you go on just supplying all the things together, it is not going to have the results.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. Specialization, I think, what Deepak Bhai is talking about. So Kunal, I know you would ideally go to a bird sanctuary and enjoy the wildlife. And I asked him what would he do if he was not making head boxes, and he said I would be a Haryana farmer. So, but anyway, we're lucky to have you here in the industry. and would like to hear from you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Ashraf Bhai, for giving us the confidence yesterday. So basically, I joined Microfab in 2018. It's a family-owned business. My dad started it in 1992, and he came from Haryana and joined Nathani Paper Mill as he did paper tech. Then after that, he started this company Microfab Industries in 1992, and we were mainly into rebuilds, and we started making open head boxes that time. And after completing my engineering, I joined Microfab in 2018, and then personally I developed pressurized head box. I saw a lot of potential in the market, and also we started doing some of the projects after that. And currently in last 3 years, we have good numbers of head box supplied in the market. And our main target was small and medium scale industries which were facing a lot of problem with their head boxes. So we developed a good kind of head box for basically craft industry, which we saw was the major potential market, and maximum mills in Gujarat were facing huge issues with their GSM problem. So now we are working on it, and we are also working on hydraulic head boxes. And 2019, I just did my first mill. It was solely done by me. It is called Eminent Paper, and it is running very successfully. And now we're into projects also, but mainly our focus is head boxes, because I see a lot of potential, and yearly I've seen a lot of mills importing head boxes from China, and the life of head boxes was very less. So now we are replacing Chinese head boxes also, and we are also supplying the new head boxes for the new mills. And I see a lot of potential, and I'm looking to work hard on that.
Good, Kunal. Good to know. Headbox is a very special product, and I'm glad you took up a challenge, heads on. Do you have any plans to go for a dilution control headbox?
Yeah, maybe in future. Currently, we are busy with air cushion. When we have huge volume, we'll just definitely try for that as well.
Okay, fine. So maybe you can expect something from him. I guess you need to have a broader bandwidth.
Yes, I guess.
Good, good. Fine. So I'm glad. Goel Sahab would not love Saloni to be here, because she said that if she would not have been in this industry, she would love the profession of event management. So Goel Sahab was saying, "Mera help ho jata." But I think all of us are lucky that she's with us. She loves to eat and sleep. So I'm glad she woke up and came this morning. Thank you, Saloni. So now we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would just like you to take you to the down lane of the journey of Saloni paper machines. We have not been, I would not say that it's not even been 2 decades that we have been a part of the paper industry. It is a very short journey, but I would say it has been a good roller coaster ride. So the first picture, what you can see here, we call it as the second home, where we keep on innovating and creating for our customers. And then, although it is a family-owned business, but I should be mentioning that without our extended family of around 150 people and more of 700 people who are working day and night at site, we are totally incomplete without them. So I would say our biggest strength is the teamwork and the team we have at Saloni Paper Machines. Now, I would like you to take to the journey of Saloni Paper Machines. We never thought that we will be coming up as a manufacturer or supplier of a machine, paper machine. We were basically the erectors commissioning and installing the paper machines. Seeing the opportunity, the hub we have at Vapi, we thought let us have a small workshop for just the maintenance purpose of all the paper mill owners. And then eventually, with the support of all our valued customers and the trust they have in us, so we have now started taking up all the projects, turnkey projects, complete from start to end, and we endeavor to be the partner of the projects. One thing I would like to mention is that for us, no assignment is small or big. Everything is important to us, whichever thing is important to our customer. And this ideology comes from none other than the founder of Saloni Paper Machines, my father, Mr. Jaikishan Sharma. You can see in the picture where he proves that in 2005 he was doing a matchmaking of a machine by himself, and now today in 2022 he's supplying his machine and then commissioning by himself. His determination and passion, the amount of hard work he's doing, and the commitment he shows towards the work, he has literally injected in the nerves of each and every person in our team. And the only line he says, when you say yes, there's no going back. So that is what we offer to our customers. Thank you.
Great.
So till now we have been giving craft paper machines from head box to the rewinder for around 300 TPD capacity. And now if I talk in terms of speed, so we have already commissioned a 750 to 800 MPM machine.
Very good.
And we are currently working on 1000 MPM machine.
Congratulations. That's a brave target to have. Very good, Samantha. So, as you all may have noticed, good landscaping. The one person amongst us who was really enjoying that from the depth of the heart was Yesha, because that's what she would have wanted to be. You know, she loves gardening and interior decorator, but finally she is landed into our industry. Thank you, Yesha, for coming all the way, and we are really looking forward to hear from you. Please.
Thank you, Shafakal. Hello, everyone. My name is Yesha. I'm the CEO of JMC Papertech Private Limited. I would like to start by thanking INTA for this opportunity to be amongst all of these great panelists. As our generation enters the pulp and paper industry, it's especially important for us to recognize the journey of our companies because they will influence our personal journeys in the industry as well. So only a few days ago, actually, my dad was telling us a story about how when JMC was first starting out, we started by supplying drying cylinders. And at the time, the idea of supplying a full-scale paper machine was just a distant dream for JMC. But not long after, JMC commissioned an 80 tons per day craft paper machine to Shripati Paper and Board in Shibakasi, making JMC's dream a reality. And now, almost 30 years later, we continue to break barriers and reach new heights as one of the leading paper machine manufacturers with the first ever integrated pulp mill and paper plant with a capacity of 200 tons per day. And this is just the beginning. At JMC, our strategy when approaching future developments is to be critical yet creative, curious yet capable. JMC's journey towards the future includes innovations to increase energy efficiency within each step of the manufacturing process. Our focus remains on development of energy-efficient technologies, research and development, and digital transformation in the paper machine manufacturing process. The area with the highest potential for energy efficiency improvements is the drying process, which accounts for about 70% of the total energy that's used for pulp and paper making. Research shows that there are 3 areas for innovation with particularly high efficiency potential. First is the superheated steam. The superior heat capacity and thermal conductivity of superheated steam allows for higher drying rates, shorter process times, and more homogeneous drying. Second is water removal without evaporation. So through using electric forces like electroosmosis, this method would avoid the most energy-intensive part of the drying process, leading to up to 90% energy savings during drying. And third is paper making without water. There is research being done to eliminate water from the pulping process, providing the potential to remove the use of heat for drying completely. To increase energy efficiency, JMC has adopted several technologies with high efficiency potential, such as our new design steel dryers with internal machining. The use of steel allows for higher heat transfer rates throughout the cylinder, leading to higher evaporation rates. This helps increase production rate while reducing drying capacity. Additionally, steel dryers include grooving inside the shell, which allows for better conductivity and lower total energy consumption. Steel dryers provide for a better and quicker response to any changes, which provides more efficient control, better quality, and better consistency of paper. JMC is also in the process of completing a hydraulic headbox, which is designed for a high-speed modern paper machine with operating speeds above 500 meters per minute. In our research and development is another division in which JMC continues to make strides. However, research and development spending in the pulp and paper industry overall is the lowest it's ever been in the past 30 years. So at JMC, as we progress with our integrated pulp mill and paper plant, JMC and PapCell's research and development departments are working together to ensure the highest level of manufacturing of equipment as we develop the brown stock washing system, recusticizing plant, and the evaporator section. And lastly, the industry is entering a new era of connectivity. So the introduction of automated analysis and anytime, anywhere monitoring is allowing for remote problem resolution, which maximizes efficiency and productivity. So to maintain a competitive edge for the next step of our journey, at JMC, we've incorporated several software programs within our processes to enable open sharing of information across the entire value chain. Some of those softwares include ST-ERP, project management softwares like ClickUp and Microsoft Project, and also SolidWorks and Creo for 3D designing. So I'll end by saying that JMC has come a long way, as many people know in the industry. From the early days of supplying drying cylinders and 80 tons per day paper machines, to commissioning 450 tons per day machines, and now a fully integrated pulp mill and paper plant. The one constant in JMC's journey of success has been our commitment towards innovation and growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Yesha. That is indeed a very exciting pipeline of new products, and I'm glad that you're thinking beyond the mechanical and looking at automation and integrating that into your system. That's very good. All the best, and I hope you can take the journey forward. So when we talk about cars, everybody can obviously recognize a car, but we have somebody who can recognize the car from its rim or the tire. And here we have Mihir Mistry, who's he's very passionate about these automobiles, and we would like to see, his job is really a lot of detailing, which means because he's into products like guides and stretchers and showers, it needs a lot of a very minute look at a very deep reflection into the finer parts, and I think he loves that as his passion, and that kind of goes very well with his product portfolio, and he's come a long way. Look forward to hearing from you.
And IPTA for giving me an opportunity to share my journey with you. Engineering in the paper industry has come a long way from complete mechanical systems to now sophisticated systems which has more electronics in it. And SCAN Engineering, as a manufacturer of equipments which enhances the productivity of the basic paper machine, also believes in that same value. And I would like to take you, I'd like to share a journey which my father told me about how we got into this paper industry. And I would like to take you back 30 years when we were just doing some maintenance work for the mainstream industries in Vapi. And we were also doing some work for Ruby Mecons. And that time they had an issue regarding dryer string, keeping that dryer string on track. And they called us, they told that, and they already knew the solution, that the solution is replacing the manual guides with the auto guides. And we had no experience in auto guides, we didn't know what auto guides were. So at that time, auto guides were not so popular as it is right now. And for that, my father traveled to a paper mill where the AutoCAD was installed somewhere in the southern India, and he did an in-depth study of the AutoCAD and came back from there and started developing the AutoCAD. After several attempts, we were able to successfully develop an AutoCAD and installed an AutoCAD at Ruby Mechanics, and we got good results with it. So this was a turning point for the company where we got first chance to enter into the paper industry. From there on, we started looking on other pain points in the paper industry, and specifically we focused more on the systems which were around the running fabric, running felt, wire, or screens. So we started developing products like showers, stretchers, and other surrounding products. Moving ahead, we thought that we are adding products, but with the continuous evolving needs of the customer, we need to move to automation. Right? Rightly said, like the industry is moving towards automation right now, and to keep up with the changing needs of the customer, we started upgrading our own products. Like for example, the showers which are earlier geared motor oscillator, we converted it into electromechanical oscillator with feedback mechanism. Then motorized stretchers, and there are many products like that. So automation, we felt that the future is the automation. And there's a saying that preach what you practice. So if we are saying that the paper industry is going to adopt automation in future, then we have to also upgrade ourselves to match their needs. So, go back to the slide. Okay, now here is an image where is my father. He's just working with the mechanical tools, and this is 25 years down the lane. Like we have just got the CNC machine and we are continuously upgrading. We are moving from a conventional setup to a complete CNC workshop, and we are also adding more and more products. Like, go back to the next. Yeah, so these are the products that we have, these are our focus areas right now. So basically mainly on the running screen, wire, felt, and we also found a pain point in this rope carrying system. So the safety and the threading, as the machine speeds are going up, and the safety is also a concern. So we started developing certain products. Some conventional products we developed earlier. So right now we are working on some of the ropeless tails feeding system, air shooters, tail shooters. So these are the products. And knife gate walls was one area which we started quite late, and we got many certifications, quality certifications, which has enabled us to supply these walls abroad. And I'm proud to say that we have also registered with the US Navy as one of the suppliers. And so I believe that the future is to continuously evolve, adapt, and make the best use of the technology to keep up with the growing needs of the customers and help them achieve their production targets.
So the next big innovation, of course, is going to be batteries. Anybody has ideas, please leave the paper industry and find yourself a better job. And I'm sure it will be far more rewarding. Great. Mihir, it was very interesting and exciting to hear you out. Did you notice any, I've noticed that you can give a very nice paper machine to somebody, but that small tail shooter or a nice rope system is sometimes so much more rewarding, and they really appreciate those, what I like to call the productivity components, and you've really chosen a good field. Have you noticed differences of these components at different speed points? I mean, did you need, for example, an AutoCAD for 100 or 200 meters versus what you may be doing today for 400-600 meters? What has been your experience?
For auto guides, I think, yeah, definitely the design has to be different for what it is for 100 or 100 meter per minute and what it is for 400 or 500 meter per minute. So for auto guides, we have been developing, like, it's just not the bellow type. We have also developed the cylinder type, and we are working right now on an electric auto guide. So that way, a DC electric auto guide. So that is something new we are doing.
Very good. Congratulations. Good. I'm glad you also talked about automation. Next up, we have KU, and he is also a mistaken entry. He's the MS Dhoni of Vapi, for your information, and he would know anything on electronics and innovation that you can talk about. You can ask him of any of these hardware that you see here, and he can give you a nice lecture. But KU, today we want to hear from you about the legacy of your family and the business, how it has grown, what is your view and what is your vision for the future.
Good morning everyone. Thank you sir. Thank you Yukta for giving us the opportunity. My name is K. Panchal and I am the owner of Sanjay Steel Fabricators, a company that deals in pulp and paper mill equipments. The engineering sector of this industry has seen many innovations, techniques and process, and we are here to elaborate a little bit on that. But before that, let's go back in the past and see how we began our engineering journey. Our company Sanjay Steel Fab were among one of the first engineering companies in our area, which started with minimum resources and finances. With the help and under the guidance of Ruby Macons, we began our industrial journey. We were able to become one of the first manufacturers to introduce an MG cylinder with a 12-foot diameter during the time of limited resource and untapped technology. This is a photograph which has been taken in 1992. It's a fabricated dryer. As you can all see, the metallizing process is being carried out, and that too with the limited resources available. Now, as all of you know that the fabricated dryer has been shifted to casted iron, casted dryers, and nowadays the people are manufacturing back to the fabricated dryers. Point being, this was and still was a reliable way of making a dryer. These are some of our present products, and as some of the product you can see that the initial manufactured product is totally different from this product, as after much trial and error, many advancement has been done to this products. The changes in number of demand and supply has also given us route to compact and economical way of making the equipments. Our vision for the coming years is to develop a sector in waste management. As we all know, there is a lot of waste being created in the paper mills, and in the interest of generating a more sustainable and environmental friendly procedure, this would be our main focus as a paper mill machinery manufacturers. Another main focus, as obvious as it is, to improve and advance the quality of paper by tapping new engineering methods of creating economical, better machinery. Overall, bringing something new to the table as we move ahead, because as developed as we are yet to achieve the utmost standard of mastery, and that is what we aim towards. Thank you.
For the last, we have Ashish Chokawala. People in Vapi obviously know him very well. I would like to narrate a small story with Ashish. very many years back, we bought a screening system from Germany, from Hermann Fink. And when the entire system came here, and these guys sent some details, and it said we need a reject valve to open at a predetermined time for a set amount of time. And so we got very worried because this was, I said, ठीक है क्या करेंगे, एक आदमी रख देंगे वो ऑन ऑफ कर देगा. So somebody said नहीं साहब वाल हाथ से खोलेगा बंद करेगा बहुत टाइम लगेगा, न्यूमेटिक वाल लगाते हैं. So I thought pneumatic valve कहाँ से मिलेगा? So we went to Mihir's dad and he said I will make one. So then it was about pushing a button, and one of my friends, Prakash, brought Ashish to me and he said he can do this in automation. And I was thinking, pata nahi what is automation? And next thing is I was grilling him for almost an hour on such a small thing. I mean, kai was the which year? So only in 97, I was refusing to believe that a valve can open every 10 seconds for 2 seconds. And I was grilling him, no, whether this is possible or not, Finally, he brought a small Siemens PLC, it was a logo. He bought it in his bag and he said, sir, ye chalega, and it can be programmed. And I still didn't trust him. When he started it up, I sat there with a Titan watch, with that seconds, the HMT watches, and I used to make sure. And after about 2-3 hours, I saw that it is obeying, 10 seconds means 10 seconds. So that was my personal experience. The first automation, I mean, if you can call it that way. So anyway, on to you, Ashish. Look forward to hearing your experience in the paper industry. He was
So, I graduated in the year 1989 and then just came to the business of my own family business of rice processing. And father said, since you have completed your graduation and engineering and all that, why don't you try something else? And then I started my journey into automation field and started working with some small company in Valsad, my hometown, making permanent magnet DC motors. So that was the project established to supply some motors for the electric cycles. And the project was being developed in Taiwan. And the motors were developed by some of the NRI in General Motors, who was working with electrical motor at that time, in the year 1991. Unfortunately, that project didn't last for a long time, but gave me some field to develop myself into the field of automation and development of some electrical parts of the electrical field. So I decided to go for some higher studies, did my masters from Baroda, came back again in the year 1993, and at that time there was very less, and I decided to settle down in Valsad, my hometown, and that was probably, I thought that was not a right decision for me. I should have moved towards some metros where we have a better opportunities. But unfortunately, I stuck to my decision and then started doing some practice. I didn't get much of an opportunity because that time very less people were having some feel for the automation in their own plants because labor was very cheap. So they said if you spend so, also the cost of automation was very high. So till the year 1997, I used to do some maintenance, carrying my bag and also some solder gun and some components, automation components, and repairing the imported machine coming to India, second-hand imported machines coming to India. So this is how I started my career in automation, and then I got an opportunity in the year 1997 to meet Ashraf Bhai, and he gave me a chance to develop the automation for his first cleaning system he brought from Germany. It has got PLC, but that got malfunctioned somehow and didn't get any support here in India and in Vapi rather. So I had an opportunity to get into the paper industry. That is how in year 1997. And since then, like I've been developing a lot of things, and they were making machines, and right from their inception of the making machine, I used to get involved. So how to automate those machines, and this is how we developed a lot of things and started with cleaning systems and pulping systems, and till the year of association with Ruby Makers, I was mainly involved in the automation of pulping. Year 2014, Ali sir gave me an opportunity to be a partner with Arshad Bhai, who is a younger brother of Ashraf Bhai, to start our company named CN Automation. And with the establishment of CN Automation, we started developing a lot of things and did a lot of paper projects. So earlier we used to supply, I used to supply automation for only paper mill, pulp mill, but from Nehali I got an opportunity to develop some solutions for the paper machine. And fortunately that was the biggest machine of India, 146 extra drives in one machine to be synchronized in line with progressive draw and all that. Like there are 4 inline motors and size space, and like over a period of time we kept on developing the machine, like introducing new equipments. I ended up lastly with the film size space and the shoe base. So that was a real academic journey for me into the paper industry, and since then, like, we didn't look back. We did a couple of good projects, and recently we accomplished one project of the South India paper mill. And of course, during all this time, we have been doing a lot of solutions for the paper industry. We have worked almost with all the popular OEMs from Germany, France, Sweden, like Voith, we have done many pulp mill automation, and Karen Lamont, we have done pulp mill automation, Karen Noss, we have done approach flow, and Karen Johnson, steam and condenser systems, and of course Walmart shoe presses and hat boxes, so hat boxes with dilution profile. So we are now giving a good bridging platform for the multiple vendors like Voith, Walmart, Karen, and when all of them are on the same platform to get the best solution out of a good economical solution. So we became a very good platform for the customer to integrate all of them. We know the basic process solutions, like process requirements of the paper industry, and develop our solutions accordingly. And so while doing all these things, we have developed our own systems also. We have developed one pick and place 3-axis robot in-house for plastic processing. And the same we are planning to integrate into the paper industry also. We have integrated one German robot with our PLC system and acquiring the data. Unfortunately, the video is not being played here due to some technical error, but that robo picks up the finished products from the German machine, and then we take all data, the dimensional details, the remains, everything we collect it on our PLC systems, and then stacking it on the pallets. So the stacking is also automated. Based on the sensing of diameter, the robot PLC decides what matrix of the pallet should be there. So is it a 4x4, 4x3, 5x4, whatever, it decides by itself, like the system decides by itself. So this is the slide of that robot integration into the PLC. And this data, acquired data through this PLC system is being sent to the MES system. So directly to the customer's SAP system or ERP or whatever may be the things.
So now we are working with some company, again the South India Paper Mill. So order processing will come from the marketing department, and our DCS, we have supplied the DCS also there, will convert those data into the production planning. So we'll, like the requirement of the tonnage of the finished goods, like given by the marketing. So our MCS will calculate some data and give the targeted production to the approach flow and pulp mill. So mixing chest and all these things will have already predefined data. So this will be the grades of the paper to be produced and this many tons. So machine DCS will collect all the data from Walmart QCS to Void DCS and everything, and then we'll give the set points for the mixing ratio and all these things. So this is what is being under process, and maybe another down the line by the next couple of months we'll be accomplished with that also. So this is one aspect, and parallelly we are developing some automation solutions in finishing area. So this is a slide of automated guided vehicle, AGV, which is again like you are seeing the jumbo reel is kept on some guided vehicle. This guided vehicle has its own intelligence. It will track this can be accomplished by two ways. Like you can have a magnetic scale on the floor and it will follow the magnetic scale. So you don't need to dig out the floor or make any rail or something like that. It will only follow the coordinates and distance travels, like how much distance to be traveled in X direction or Y direction and all that. Accordingly, it will reach to the target. And once it reaches to the target, then of course the respective machines can have their own system to pick it up from this vehicle and go for the further processing. This will reduce a lot of time and manpower and errors committed by the human beings during the, because this has already have an intelligence. It will read the barcode and will have the information where which machine this roll has to go for the processing and all that. So this is how CN automation is working in the field of automation, and this is one of our robot being implemented for the plastic processing, that is in-mold labeling, which is a recent concept, came in India. It is very popular in Europe. So, earlier the paper cups or ice cream cups or all these articles, plastic articles used to get printed after the molding and all that. Now we have developed this robot for insertion of the label into the injection molding, and so label becomes a part of the article. And that will have a revolution for the quality product manufacturers, because it is very difficult to copy this kind of an article again. So the duplicators will not have any chance to have any opportunity to reproduce it in the duplicate name or something like that. So besides that, like we have been working into the plastic processing, rubber processing, and chemical industry also. But our focus, our 80% of our business is into the pulp and paper, because we have been born and brought up in paper industry, and having blessings from Sri Ali Bhai, and of course all the time our good wishes from Ashraf Bhai for development of solutions in the paper industry. We've been really thankful, all of you, and particularly Nathani family, to make me a part of their business developments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashish. As Vapi is also looking at robots and guided vehicles, we are really looking to the future. As you can see now, we have a nice, young, talented set of suppliers who will love to take you forward, the Indian paper industry, and I would request all of you to take pride in this. Building paper machines and projects is part of nation building, I would say, as we all participate in this wonderful journey of building a great nation. So congratulations to one and all. Ashish, incidentally, is also very keenly interested in education, a lot of good things. He and his wife, they give free tuitions to the underprivileged girls and a lot of social work they do. Most of them are also involved. We didn't have enough time to touch on the social achievements of the families of all these companies, but I can assure you that they do a great job on that front as well. I would say, as Nihali, so while everybody was throwing a lot of praises for our family, I really thank all of them. I still believe, but it's always a partnership. It has to be two ways, and all of them delivered, their families delivered, and that is why the relationships could go on for almost close to 5 decades, you know. At which point we decided to focus on the paper manufacturing, and therefore we had to exit that business. Like Goel Saab said, you know, where is the 100th machine? So Goel Saab, the answer is, मैं बोलता हूँ मेरा machine 100th है, दहेज में. Because we literally brought everything together, and all these guys here have played some or the other role in helping me do that project at a much lower cost. See, there was this industry benchmark of project cost for a board machine of that size, you know, and we were very lucky that we could do it at a much lower cost, and everyone here played a role. You know, they helped me, and especially I can see that Ashish, you know, the business intelligence, the process intelligence is gradually shifting to the instrumentation and automation team. Even in my mill, when I have a problem, when there is a, let's say, a basis weight or a moisture fluctuation, and we have these debates in the morning meeting, and you see the automation guy, you know, was Shanti se side mein baithega, and then when all the panga is over, he'll say, "Sab ye valve fluctuate ho raha tha, ya transmitter calibrated nahi tha, ye log trend dekhte hi nahi hai." So, you know, we are still to get into that. There is so much data available. When you have a mill-wide DCS, there is so much data available, and the automation guys are really getting their hands on the process very fast. And Ashish was in, we are doing a school as CSR, and we were discussing the classroom, and he was busy talking to somebody at Shah Paper Mill startup and guiding him on the level set point for the head box, and you know, which was actually quite interesting to me, because that was a process parameter and he should not have anything to do with that. But that's the reality, and I think that's how the future is going to be. So while the thing is engineering our way to the future, I would say that the new minds are luckily so interested in automation and electronics, and it really gels very well. I would like to now leave the open the platform for questions from the audience, and they will be very happy to answer them, please. कभी रोल टूट गया या फ्रेम हिल गया?
Recently, I had one sleepless night in the commissioning of one of our machines, and that headbox thing what you were talking about, it is the same one when we both were standing and giving it.
Okay.
So that was the one.
So if you've done sleepless nights on the machine, means you have you're in, you're like.
Taking to rewinder. Suppose it is in line, directly we are taking it, but sometimes the rewinder is placed at a distance, some other location. Whether this type of vehicle will avoid using the crane, taking one crane and other crane like that, something?
Yes, exactly. This is what is then rest everything AGV is already taught of, the sizes and all that. So you just have to send the data to the AGV that it should go to this cutter, or maybe you already have the production planning system in your plant, and read the data from the barcode and send the particular child reel to the respective sheet cutter or something.
This can be
up
like
to the 20-ton capacity. Up to the 20 ton.
And dia of the roll, any dia?
Dia of the roll can be maybe around 2.7 to 2.8 meters or something like that.
Back. So US double sorted OCC prices to India have gone up to $200. So I wanted comments or feedback from any of the delegates panelists. It's open to everybody.
Please restrict it to the subject.
Yeah, we'll come back to that if you like after the session. Thank you. Yeah. I'd love to hear that, sir.
Yeah. See, about 3-4 years we went to China. One excellent experience which we found there was a very close relationship between the machinery supplier and the paper mill itself, which I found in my career was lacking in India. What we believe that I am the paper mill owner, there is a supplier, he has supplied the equipment, that's the end of it. He doesn't have any kind of a continuous relation with me till I have some problem with the machine, the particular equipment. And most of the time, if he wants his customer to visit my mills, I am generally hesitant in India. Generally I will say, no, we don't permit visiting your customers to our mill. That is a general experience. We have been an exception in Shriyas, we were always welcoming that, but that is the experience. What I find, or all of us found in China, very close relationship between the machinery supplier and the paper mill itself. And wherever we visited, whichever paper mill we visited, the mill visit was done by the supplier. The guidance was by the supplier, not by the mill personnel. That was the kind of relationship. He had an equipment, but he will know about the entire mill. So I am very happy here, because what I am finding that all the machinery suppliers, maybe Ashraf took the lead there and he was, and then Ali Bhai set that precedent. But that close relationship between the paper mill and the supplier is something to emulate for the entire paper industry. All over India, not in Vapi alone or this particular area. And must congratulate Ashraf and Ali Bhai starting it, and then all of you being the part of that and then remembering that relationship. So that was just sharing the experience, and congratulations to all of you. It was wonderful hearing you. Very frankly, I was telling Mr. Goyal also when I saw the complete list of panelists today and yesterday, being in industry for almost 50 years, but I knew very few names. That was a compliment. I am not saying that derogatory, but there was a compliment that most of the people whom I don't know are part of the panel. A wonderful journey, and all the best in times to come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind words. At the same time, I would urge the mills to give them a better opportunity and a better chance. I'm sure there is a big room for them to work closely.
Yeah, but this relationship must develop between the mills and the machinery supplier.
Actually, I believe, sir, it's a partnership.
Yeah,
because you always involve. It's always an evolution.
And I think onus lies on the mill owners rather than the supplier.
True. Thank you, Anilji. That was... Tushar Bhai has a question.
A question for all of you, including Ashraf, especially for Ashish. You've been discussing a lot about artificial intelligence, controlling paper machines, a lot of automation, and you are putting in automation everywhere. So do you think, earlier, like back 40 years back, paper making was considered to be an art, and now it's more of a mechanically derived process, maybe a chemical and a mechanical. So do you think that very soon, with you guys working towards making the processes completely automated, the paper makers here could be redundant, and we don't need more paper makers, just maybe a few engineers controlling the paper machine, and like what you said in South India paper mills, you're putting up processes which could automate a lot of things which we've never imagined before. So, do you really think that I could just program ye chahiye, wo chahiye, but we don't need a paper maker, we don't need the brains? You think that the day is very close?
Tushar Bhai, I'll add to that question/statement, please have a seat, before Ashish can answer it. So, I was in Germany at Paper Days, which very recently was a customer conference from Belmar. And I was amazed to hear from Stora Enso that they are actually looking at running multiple mills from a single location. So that is really the next step. And he said that, look, if you have a tuning problem in a consistency transmitter, or if you're looking at sharing data of what is the finer things, the differential pressures or many small process parameters that you normally, or let's say what is the dosage of the chemicals, of the retention aid. They are imagining a control room where you have people sitting by side, let's say on the wet end, but you have a guy who's sitting next to another guy, but let's say, to imagine this in the condition of India, one is running a machine in Chennai and the other one is running a machine in Vapi. And they are going to do this in one location. It was unbelievable. They are actually going to do it and they have already finished the piloting. So anyway, that's really the next stage of imagination. I never thought this would be possible.
So that's bad news for the paper makers.
It's not. I think there is still a lot of growth in our industry, but yes, we definitely need to reskill ourselves. There is a lot of big data, and I don't mean to criticize, but I think that we need the ability to go back to data. Like there is a saying in my conference room at the mill, in God we trust, which is common to all Indians. All others must bring data. Because, the standard dialogue in India is, मुझे लगता है साहब, मैंने ऐसा सोचा, मैंने ऐसा किया. There is no data. If there is a paper break, ये हो गया होगा, वो हो गया होगा. So we need to really come out of this as our machines are going to be bigger and faster. We need to go to that level. Yeah, Tushar.
This is really an interesting question, and in fact, this has been my vision for pulp and paper industry. Way back in the year 2007, I was a part of a team with German engineers commissioning a plant at Bayer, India. So Bayer has put up one global manufacturing facility in Noida. They were to manufacture plastic granules for polycarbonate glasses, like mainly used for automobile headlamps and spectacles. So nowadays all the spectacles are with polycarbonate glasses. And those glasses should have zero contamination, and all throughout their facilities, like the final finished product should have the same characteristics, zero tolerance. And they had a manufacturing facility in India, they have a manufacturing facility in USA, they have a manufacturing facility in Europe, and all the facilities were being controlled by Singapore Hub. So they had made a system, automation system, that each and every machine in the manufacturing facility is being controlled and monitored by Singapore Hub. So every recipe is being prepared there. Even the weighing scale was attached with the system. So 2 grams of additive to be added into this batch, that is being decided by Singapore. So operator has nothing to do, only once the weighing is completed, he has to pick up the article and put it into the mixing. Then how much mixing time should be there or whatever, all the process parameters are being set from Singapore. So if there is a out of specs material, then operator has to press a button. This material is not up to the mark, of there is some burnt particle, so he has to keep this material out of the production. So this kind of a facility, fortunately, I was a part in the year 2007, and same can be brought to the paper industry also. Thank you.
That will not require human brains in future just because I have these many machines. Paper makers are the ones who will be telling us that my machine should work like this or these are the parameters. Only then these ifs and buts can be thought only by these paper makers. And then these implementations can take place. Definitely unskilled worker or labor will reduce, but skillness will definitely be required for even the automation.
Yeah, exactly. We have a running cupboard machine which in case of any problems, it gets programmed right from China to Vapi. They don't come here personally, so I believe that, but paper making process was a little bit different, of course. It requires...
Yes, I agree with that.
I have one more question if for Ms. Patel, if you would like to take up, or is
Yeah, we have 12 minutes, Tushar bhai.
So,
5
you know,
minutes. We have 5 minutes.
no, we have 12. No.
Goel Saab is hungry, he wants to have a cup of tea.
Okay, just a very quick question, yeah. You mentioned something about waterless paper, yeah. So do you think, yeah, I'm about 55 years old. Do you think I have about another 20 or 25 years if God is kind to me? Do you think it could happen in my lifetime, waterless paper? I would really want to see that, you know, really.
But it's very small scale, so implementing it on a larger scale is what they're working on right now, trying to, paper mills make lots of paper every day, so I just trying to increase the production capacity of it. That's what they're focusing on. If you want to know more about the research that they're doing, let me know after and I can tell you. The research is based out of Sweden, so I think it's possible. In the next 30 years, I would like to think so.
Thank you. Yeah, I am also very hopeful that it can happen. Yeah? The only thing is that for paper, you know, when it forms one fiber to another fiber, there is actually a hydrogen bond required for paper formation. So, you know, with dry fiber, I don't know how that bond is possible. But anyway, the chemists will. Yeah. So paper makers, you have a bright future, even though there is a lot of automation going to happen. Thank you.
Automation will help making the system predictable. So that will be really helpful for the paper.
Ashik, as far as the automation is concerned, yes, definitely the predictable maintenance. It has gone to a maximum extent, or even we cannot imagine to what extent this automation has improved. Even the equipment will say, after 1 month I am going to behave like this. And the equipment will indicate that last time when you did this maintenance, you have missed this part. At least this time you have to take care of this. Otherwise, within next 1 week or next 1 or 2 days, I am going to fail because of this failure. That kind of automation or the facility, it is already available. So if you go to white machines or even white technology, they have already developed it, and operation of any mills from any location. It is through satellite and all.
Yeah, that's already happening. Yeah.
It is already happening.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's keep it as the last one.
Compliments to the people who are sitting in the dais. See, I am a quality control and R&D in charge in CNPL, Chennai. So my responsibility is to control the quality. So here, we use lot of imported equipment. But do you have any idea, so far you are talking about machineries and any lab equipment which is equal to the imported?
I'd like Ashish to reply to that.
Yeah, it's very expensive. For example, our system in the machine cost about 2.5 crore to 3 crore. Do you have any idea?
But we are open to be a part of that development if at all somebody takes the lead on that. And some manufacturers, lab equipment manufacturers are giving us an opportunity. We are open for that.
So he's talking of the close working within the mill, like Anilji has just said, you know. So in fact, for all of you, that's an opportunity or a direction you could pick. Thank you, sir.
I had been a part, opportunity of similar kind in plastic industry. So plastic industry, like compounding process, there's a very costly equipment called rheometer. And I had an opportunity to develop automation for the rheometers. And that is still working even these days.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like Goel sir to take over from here. Thank you.
This session has added a new chapter in the thought process of IFTA. It's absolute new. You can see all seats full, everybody awake, dining area vacant. Because what you have said is a reality from your heart, very well delivered, and that's what people come to listen. I don't think before this session, people, possibly even within the Gujarat, knew what the potential exists here. When we were talking in advance, how to plan this session. One important thing happened in Vapi. Both the panel discussion, normally it happens that this is a panel discussion, so many people will come. Here the moderator took the interest to call all the people at a common location, discuss how they will do it. We showed their interest. And when I asked Ashraf Bhai, there are a lot of competitors coming here. How do we interest, how will we handle this possible conflict of interest? He told me a very important part. And please remember it of this whole of life. We are competitors, but we support each other. We don't compete. And that's a very wonderful thing that you said, Ashraf Bhai. 30 seconds to tell you, we all are wondering about automation. Please only look at Amazon where you order. You order one thing, 30 recommendation comes down the line when you have ordered the first product. You keep Alexa on in your house. It looks like she is listening what you are talking about, and many recommendations come. One interesting thing happened in USA. There was a Prime account, one Prime account of your Amazon. They were ordering. The father got the mail recommending baby products, and he was annoyed. And then he came to know that his daughter was pregnant. So this is on a lighter note, but this is what somebody is listening you. Somebody is watching you in current, and you will get surely a feedback on that. With these words, we come to the end of the session. Request Ashraf Bhai to please come forward and Mr. Ashish Chopala, please. Ashish Bhai, please come forward. Oh, please give a nice picture together with the Ashraf Bhai. Shri Deepak Bhai next, please. Ashish Bhai, please. Shall we keep this card and keep ready with that, with the sequence?
Okay, done.
Mr. Kunal Rana, please.
ले उसको बोल सामने देख eyes close it.
Whatever your gifts are, there is a original.
Yes, sir, channel.
Isha, please come over.
Yes, sir.
Dev Bhai.
Okay, done. Okay, done.
And Meher Bhai, Mr. Ganesh, please come also.
Yes, sir, camera look here.
So, big round of applause for the moderator, without whom it was not possible. Mr. Ganesh to please offer a Saharanpur. They are handcrafted, very nice. And all the panelists, please come forward for a group photograph.
Yes, ready. Yes, camera look here, sir.
एक सिंपल ले ले